want to segue into anything else. Otherwise, I have points here we could hit. But if there's something you'd like to add, then go ahead.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna try and share my screen here. If that's okay, can we see the screen?
You got it. Yeah. Yes. You said that earlier.
And then I'm of course happy to go into the questions from that point on. But just from here looking out, this is an article from CoinDesk from a real person that I would just like to unpack in a friendly way, if I may.
You know what I mean? The floor is yours, right?
If I may, thank you, sir. If I may,
you may and you shall.
So right here at the top, Microstrategy's current premium. Any equity analyst who is worth a grain of salt, shout out grain of salt, but any equity analyst who is worth anything knows to value things in the future sense, right? And we can debate how far out into the future people should be looking on these sorts of things. I'm of course much longer out in the future than like most people are, and we can debate those time horizons. But this whole narrative, like, here's the reality. Here's the real thing I wanted to say on this show. Here's the reality. The people trying to like associate a value to MicroStrategy in today's, like, right now, how many Bitcoin do they have on the balance sheet and like what is the price of Bitcoin? That is like canonically the wrong way to look at this. That is just so empirically the wrong way to look at this. We shouldn't be looking at MicroStrategy as having 252,000, Bitcoin. We should be thinking through them as the option of having 500,000 Bitcoin or perhaps 1,000,000 Bitcoin. And then over that duration that it takes to gather 500,000 or 1,000,000 Bitcoin, what is the price of Bitcoin at that point? That is where the conversation should be focused. So this whole guy, like Will Canny, I'm sure he's a great guy. I mean nothing against him personally or CoinDesk or like whatever this stuff is, but I am going to torch it royally. So it's relative to its, like, look at this, relative to its Bitcoin stack. These people don't get it. They never got it. They never understood this thing even in the beginning, right? When it was just me and Mark Harvey, when I had 500 followers, a year ago, and I zero notifications and zero messages of people trying to talk to me. I was just talking to my absolute boy, great friend of mine, Mark Harvey, wonderful person. I was just asking him questions about MicroStrategy, and they said, and this article has the audacity to be like, relative to its stack. Well, where do you think the stack is going? Do you think it's going lower from here? Do you think it's going to stay the same from here? Or do you think it's going materially higher from here? And that's where like actual equity analysts operate, is in the future, not today's crap. We operate 24, 36 months at least in the future. And then that's like where I said we can debate about the time horizon as in regards to like how far in the future are we going to discount this stuff. But if you're looking at today's numbers, it's like you've missed the plot and you're like at least two years behind. So that's the title. And then let me tell you something about this first line of the article before you even get into like whatever like video crap or that they're gonna like advertise on the site. Let me tell you something about this first line. These are the same, like, can I speak freely? These are the same.
Please speak freely, completely.
Thank you, sir. these are the same types of delusional morons who thought that like IBIT as a spot US product was going to compete like with MicroStrategy, the stock, as a like a spot product. And I've been through these battles. Ask Fred Krueger about me. You know what I mean? Ask all these other guys about me. I was in these battles in the trenches 12 months ago against all these guys saying like, oh, MicroStrategy's now, you know, worthless or obsolete or all these other stupid words that they wanted to assign to it because there's now a spot US Bitcoin ETF. And the fundamental flaw that those analysts had and still have is that they think of MicroStrategy as like just a US spot Bitcoin ETF. Like, are you out of your fucking mind? Period. End of story. That is my question, because we have a visionary chairman, we have an operating company, we have like the Amazon of the capital markets. Like we have a dominant monopoly type position here, and yet these people wanted to be like, oh well, hold on. They wanted to be like that meme where it's like, hey honey, I found something all the scientists have missed. IBIT is gonna be a product soon. The Quant Bros and True North and Ben Workman, they must have missed this in their analysis. It's like, no, that kind of stuff is ultimately going to disproportionately benefit MicroStrategy way above the field. So that's kind of the first point there. And then, you know, we come down here above this, below this video, MicroStrategy at 300% premium to its underlying holdings. Again, it's just the same crap that I've been talking about. The positive effects of the company's stock split, like this is the kind of stuff these people like they just fail to understand. Like many equity fundamental analysts, they just look at one catalyst in a vacuum, like a stock split, like which I've highlighted right here, and they think of just that in a vacuum. It's like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, what are you even talking about? It's never just one catalyst or one thing in a vacuum. It's all of the things compared against all of the other things of all of the other investment opportunities. So it's like, what are you even talking about? Talking about just like one aspect, like the stock split, and then it's like this stuff here, like whatever. If Donald Trump is reelected, like this stuff is just such crap. It's 100% crap. And you know what they're gonna say now? What they're gonna say now is like, oh, like MicroStrategy options, like perhaps people don't want to hold those because the almighty BlackRock, Larry Fink of all people, is gonna come through and finally have an options market, which that's another thing we haven't even talked about, right? Normally when like a new company IPOs, within 2 weeks, such as like Coinbase back in April of 2021, within 2 weeks of a company IPOing, they'll have an options market traded. This shit took 12 months and we still don't even have it. And like no one like talks about that or cares about that, blah blah blah, but they're behind on the trade. Here's the thing that these people don't understand. And if can you still